What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of It's Better Than You Think. Today we're going to take a look at a weapon that has been frequently requested by subscribers, and that is the Storm. Now this is of course the pearlescent version of a Snider. It is locked to shock element, and it does have this special effect of when you shoot it, it has all these little orbs. Now this thing benefits very slightly from grenade splash damage bonuses. I think it's only 10%. And the regular Snider benefits from gun splash at 50%, which is what my can boost. And if we compare to an equally parted Aquamarine Snider here, you can see that the Storm does actually have a little bit higher base damage and then worse fire rate, and the Aquamarine Snider also has worse electrocute chance. Now, the biggest downside to the Storm, in my opinion, is the fact that it's locked to shock. Obviously, in my opinion, shock is the worst element because, I mean, it's more consistent, but it can't gain like an element matching bonus after it strips a shield, right? So if this was just locked to corrosive or to fire, or if it could come in one of those elements, it would be better in my opinion. Obviously, it wouldn't really make sense to be called a Storm in that sense, but I would actually just prefer to use a regular Snider over this weapon. Well, actually, let me take that back. I haven't actually used the Storm in a long time, so I may walk that back. But I know a lot of people prefer the regular Snider over the Storm. So we'll go ahead, we'll get started here with it and see how this goes actually before I make any definitive statements. Now, you do get the Storm. The easiest way to get the Storm is from the Binary Boss. Now, I have shown how to do the Digistruct peak skip. You can actually skip the entire peak. You can check out my Melee Zero video. I explain how to do it in that. And I've actually got a ton of these. I've got multiple perfect Storms from him. So that's a very easy way to get them if you play on at least OP5. Now, other than that, your best bet is probably Tubbies, but that's going to be pretty hard to farm it that way. But once you can learn to consistently do the peak skip, you can do it over and over. You can just, again, check out my Melee Zero guide if you want to see that. So I'm just going to run the Legendary Sniper here with a Shock Bone, and we will go ahead and get started here. So I know a lot of people do not like this weapon, and it's been a while since I've used it. I remember not really liking it, but we will see now. I missed my shot. That was my bad. I will try to get another, I'll try to line up a better shot down here. So that actually wasn't bad. That was better than I was expecting. You know, I've heard a lot of bad things about this weapon, so that was a good sign, actually. Visual pollution making it a little bit hard to land my shots. Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, that's not bad at all. Huh. Okay, maybe I was hating on the Storm a little bit too much. Oh, I can strip shields, actually, so I don't need to... Yeah, I mean, that's not bad, actually. So this one may be less bad and more not as good as it should be. Almost one-shot him. Okay, yeah. I'm locking this weapon. Which again does not mean that it's as powerful as it ought to be for being a pearlescent. But definitely I don't think this weapon deserves the hate it gets, just seeing its performance right here. This is a plenty strong weapon. Nice. Yeah, I would say if it could come in fire and corrosive, it would you know, be pretty much on par with a regular Snider. Obviously the big advantage to the Snider is I could actually be using a corrosive version, and I would gain the element matching bonus, right? Try hip fire, nice. It's a very satisfying weapon to use. Because that you know, nice sound effect when you pull the trigger. I guess I'll try to fight Wilhelm with this weapon. I don't know. Yeah, so honestly, this might be a tier 2 weapon. We'll see. I don't really know if it's going to be strong enough to deal with him, but we'll see. I mean, it's performing almost as well as a Snider, so... Again, you could use a corrosive Snider, and you could actually gain the element matching bonus. So yeah, let me compare the stats again. I was under the impression that the Storm was like significantly worse than a regular Snider. But, I mean, they're honestly pretty equal. I mean, if you have the Aquamarine skin, the Snider's going to have, you know, the extra 7.5% critical damage. And again, the regular Snider does benefit from the gun splash. This Snider does not. Which, again, so for the difference might be quite a bit wider. So before we fight Wilhelm, I will actually go test on the target dummy with 0, and I'll see which one of these actually has better single shot damage. I should have done that at the start, but yeah, before we fight Wilhelm, we'll go do that. Was that from that shock barrel? That was weird. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying this video, do please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. One shot, nice. Do let me know what you think of the storm, and do let me know what weapons you would like to see me cover next. Alright, past the exploders. Wow. He did not want to slag, which I think I missed a lot there too. Boom, one shot perfect. Okay, so honestly, yeah, the hate for the storm is unwarranted. This is a weapon that gets a lot of hate. Like, it's not just considered bad like, it's not talked about like the volcano, where like the volcano is considered good but just worse than a Snider. This weapon is pretty hated. Like, I've heard that this weapon is just like useless garbage, and it's performing pretty well. And again, it is important to be nuanced here and to be specific about what we're saying, because if we're saying a weapon is just, you know, not as good as another weapon, that's a different statement than saying that it's useless garbage, right? And that is kind of the reputation that the Storm has. I missed my deception shot. Probably could have one-shot him. That's okay. I am curious to see if this is going to have better single shot damage than the Snider. If it does, then the only downside is that, again, it cannot come in fire or corrosive, which I would, in my opinion, would be better. Although again, although again, you know, of course, shock damage is going to be consistent, but in my opinion, that is not enough to make up for the downsides. So we got a super badass down here. He didn't get slagged. Whoops. So yeah, let me know. Is this a weapon that you guys liked? Is it a weapon you thought sucked? Or is it just a weapon that just you thought wasn't quite good enough for being a Pearlescent? Nice. Yeah, that explosion sound effect is really satisfying. Yeah, honestly, I'm liking this weapon. Now, it is a shame, like, the special ability is pretty much useless. Like, most of the damage is coming from the base damage there. The shock orbs do almost nothing. Maybe they could be good for, like, picking off the shield of, like, a tank, of, like, a really fast enemy. Like, maybe, like, stalkers. But I don't even think they would leech your health back very well if you were using even like a... Well, maybe if you had a grog nozzle, they might, because even like a gust of wind will get your health back up if you're using a grog. Nice. So I will go ahead and access this ammo vendor to reset my stacks of critical ascension. I wouldn't have to, but I don't want to rely on critical ascension that much. So it's kind of a shame because this weapon has an interesting special ability. Oh, you see what I mean? The freaking barrel, man, my arch nemesis. See, yeah, this room is so tricky because like you've got your vision obscured from the freaking glares, and then that barrel also is always trying to get you too. So we almost one-shot that guy with no critical ascension. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad weapon at all. Again, it's one of those not bad, just not as good as it should be weapons. And like I said, I've learned to do the peak skip really effectively, so I've got a bunch of these. It takes like an hour, or personally, it took me about an hour to learn to consistently do that peak skip. But once I figured it out, I can do it like 90% of the time now. I've got many great Pearlescents that way. Nice. So honestly, for the Pearlescents, obviously I've talked about them a lot and about how they are better than people tend to think. There's so many barrels here, dude, that, I mean, what? But yeah, for the Pearlescents, they're much better than people think. And the Storm is one of the less good Pearlescents. Like a lot of, about half of the Pearlescents are actually top tier for their weapon class. Now, the Storm is not one of them. The Storm is one that's just better than people think. But, like, the Stalker is top tier. It's one of the top 5 DPS pistols in the game. The Sawbar is top tier. Ugh. Hopefully he'll come down here. What's he looking at? What is bro looking at? I have literally never seen a loader behave this way. Okay, well, I guess he's gonna look at me now. But yeah, Stalker, Sawbar, both of those are really good. The Carnage with the vertical grip is awesome. The Avenger is actually very good too. Not as good as like other top tier SMGs, but very good. What am I missing? Anyway, yeah, about half the Pearlescents are really good. And then the others are like average to below average. But yeah, I've covered the Stalker, the Sawbar, the Avenger, and the Carnage if you want to check those out. Oh yeah, obviously the Becca and the Butcher are really good, but people know those are good. So yeah, a lot of the Pearls, again, much better than people think. Again, several of them are top tier. And then again, some of them, like the Storm, are just not as bad as people think. Almost got him. Nice. Yeah, if the shock orbs just dealt more damage, this thing would be a beast. Because again, right now it's just like basically a side grade of a Snider. Although again, arguably a little bit worse since it can't be in one of the better elements. Ooh, you know what would be cool if maybe they didn't deal a ton of damage, but they leached your shield back up. That would be cool. There we go. So we'll check our secret chest back here. Just some iridium and cash. So yeah, that honestly performed better than I expected. And again, we will go to the target dummy and just see which one of these deals better single shot damage. And then we'll go try to fight Wilhelm. Alright guys, here we are with the damage test. I'm just going to spec out of my skills to keep things simple here. I will leave the equipment, my gear equipped here. So we'll go ahead and shoot here. Okay, I can't see because all the visual pollution. Okay, let's try that again. Is that 10.4 million? Yeah, 10.4 million damage there. And then a lot of other small damage ticks. So 10.4 versus 11.5, and then another million from the splash. So the Snider does slightly out damage the Storm on single shot damage there. Right, yeah, 10.4 versus 11.5, and then again the splash. So yeah, the Snider does actually have better single shot damage. And again, that is going to be because of the gun splash. It has 50% gun splash to the Storm's only 10% grenade splash. So the Storm, not a bad weapon. It's in the same exact boat as the Volcano. It's not really a bad weapon in and of itself. It's just kind of a downgrade compared to the Snider. Now, I'm sure, I think even like a non-gemstone Snider would out-damage it, but they're pretty close. Now, obviously, the Snider also has the benefit of a slightly higher fire rate. So, yeah, a bit of a downgrade compared to the Snider, but again, not a bad weapon in and of itself. And we will head on over to the Wilhelm fight. All right, and here we are with the Wilhelm run. I did decide to swap over to the Chaotic Evil Rogue to try to get Critical Ascension up faster. Not really sure what to expect here. He's going to be kind of hard to crit. All right, just trying to get my stacks up here. I can't see anything, so I'm going by filling. Oh, that's doing good damage, actually. Yeah, nice. I'll go ahead and take out these guys. Oh, there's a bunch of them already. Took him out fast, though. All right, try to get another stack. There we go. Trying to get the recoil to land back on his head. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good damage actually. Again, remember they're bosses. They shouldn't die instantly. Not as good as some of the other weapons we've tested against him, but killing him pretty efficiently. So yeah, I mean, that is honestly a tier 2 weapon. I can't see his head. Ah, he got unslagged. Whoops. Alright, there's a lot of enemies pushing me around here, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time. I'm just gonna go for the kill. Even if I get downed, I can finish him off. There we go, nice. So yeah, I mean, that is a tier 2 weapon. It is good at mobbing and bossing on the right characters. So the Storm, a very overly hated on weapon. Again, I understand why people don't like it, because for a Pearlescent, it's not as good as it should be. But I was under the impression that this thing was useless garbage, and as you can see, it is a plenty viable weapon. Now, unfortunately, that is all the time I have today, so it's going to be a one-character run. But, you know, I've used the Snider and the Raquel with my, if you want to check out those videos, it would perform pretty similarly to that. But yeah, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing. Again, do let me know what you think of the Storm, and do let me know what weapon you'd like to see me cover next. Really appreciate the channel members, and an extra special thanks to my Voracidous Slayers, Evan, Cass, Drake Solidor, and Jonas Hedberg. Really appreciate the support, guys. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and be here next time.